SVG's Jason Dachman. We're at the Esports Production Summit in Los Angeles, and I'm here with Allyson Gormley of Riot Games. Allyson, thanks so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So, Riot Games, you guys know a thing or two about esports, and we're super excited. We reported heavily on it when the first remote broadcast center powered by AWS was launched in Dublin last year, and now part two, very, very exciting, in Seattle is underway. Can you tell us a little bit about the facility in Seattle and how far along it's come?
Yeah, so Seattle is finished construction. It's a carbon copy per se in terms of control rooms, PCORs, ACORs, exact same as Dublin, rinse and repeat per se. Ready to go, so much so that our very first event is actually next week, which is Game Changers, that is coming from Brazil.
Cool. So tell us a little bit about what the model is for the RBC, powered by AWS. What are you guys trying to achieve? How are you guys trying to change your production strategy on a global basis?
Mm-hmm. So internally, initially launched under the project name of Project Striker. We still refer to that as an internally dubbed name, but as you said, the Remote Broadcast Center, Riot Games, innovative approach to how we do remote production. Big partners with AWS across the project themselves, alongside Cisco and a number of others as well, has seen us create this follow the sun model that is 3 remote broadcast centers, 8-hour time zones apart. And from there, we're hoping to not only make it more efficient in terms of cost, but also give us back a lot more capacity to be able to do more with upcoming titles and other esports stuff we have coming down the line.
Sure, and my favorite aspect, quality of life. Everybody's not working at 2 o'clock in the morning as much anymore. Well, you just so happen to have one of the biggest esports events on the planet happening right now. Is the RBC playing a role in League of Legends World Championships this year?
Yes, very exciting. Dublin's actually doing all of Worlds. So speaking of working strange hours and whatnot, definitely Dublin is not loving that vibe with only one up and running. But in an ideal world, we would have Seattle doing that scenario. But yeah, Dublin are there, call times of 1, 2 in the morning, working through, heading off in the afternoons. Everything's going great so far, as you can see.
And that's got to be exciting. Again, it doesn't get bigger than Worlds, so to have that facility working your biggest event is a culmination, I would think, right?
Yeah, it's a real kind of a moment for a pause and be like, okay, it works, and we're about to do the second one. But yeah, like that is the proud moment that everybody wants to kind of get to. So for the last 18 months, it's like doing Worlds was like the big pinnacle. It'll be like, we do this, we do it for 8 weeks, we load in, we load out, and then we move on to the next one. Was a real exciting moment and the buzz in Dublin itself was like, oh my God, we're doing Worlds, and seeing the viewership and kind of some of the bigger numbers we've ever put through Striker itself has been really exciting.
That's great to hear. Let's close out, getting back to Seattle. Again, you said it's kind of a carbon copy. I would think probably not with the disco ball that Dublin has, but still very, very... Still very cool. You mentioned that the event with Game Changers is coming up. Tell us a little bit about what the early days of the Seattle RBC are going to look like.
Yeah, so we're just finishing out a lot of the commissioning, hardware, software, and whatnot at the moment. So the engineering team there are heads down, whilst Dublin focus on Worlds. But yeah, Game Changers next week is our very first. We launched Dublin in a similar approach as well, crawl, walk, run. So crawl is our Game Changers event. Immediately afterwards, coming out of Seattle, we have the TVO, TFT coming out of Vegas in early December. And then from January, we'll be broadcasting the LCS North American League week in, week out. So that's our run moment.
Great to hear. All right. Well, Allyson, thank you so much for taking the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
For more reports from the SVG Esports Production Summit in Los Angeles, stay tuned to sportsvideo.org and the SVG YouTube channel.